This man loves you so much, but he has another woman who. Archangel Michael says, listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal will shake your heart and open your eyes to a truth hidden in shadows. This man, whom you trusted, holds a secret so deep that it threatens the very love you believed was pure. Watch closely, and do not look away, for the next moments will change everything you think you know about him. The night was silent, yet every sound around her seemed amplified, as if the walls themselves were whispering warnings. She had sensed a shift in his behavior, subtle at first, like a shadow brushing past the corners of her life. The laughter they once shared now carried an undertone she couldn't name, a silent echo that lingered long after he left the room. Every message on her phone felt different, each word carrying hidden meanings, coded signals meant for someone else. She tried to dismiss it, to convince herself it was imagination, but the evidence was there in the smallest acts. The way he smiled at certain texts, the way his eyes drifted when she entered a room, everything betrayed a secret affection she was not part of. Her intuition screamed in quiet desperation, warning her that the love she cherished was fractured. The other woman existed not just in fleeting encounters but in orchestrated moments designed to keep her in the dark. Every touch he gave her now felt calculated, rehearsed, hiding truths in plain sight. She remembered the first time she noticed the change, the tiny shift that seemed insignificant until it unraveled the rest of the fabric of their trust. He had been more attentive, almost unnervingly so, yet his eyes would flit away when their gazes met directly. The details she overlooked in innocence now screamed betrayal, waiting to be uncovered in the quiet corners of her heart. Archangel Michael says, the path ahead is lined with deception and truth intertwined. Pay attention, for the revelation comes in steps, and each step must be felt before it is fully understood. The truth about this man is closer than your heartbeat, and it demands courage to face. Every message she stumbled upon, every accidental notification that appeared while he left his phone briefly unattended, painted a picture she was unprepared to see. The other woman's presence was undeniable, yet hidden in shadows and whispers. Her heart raced with confusion and fear as she pieced together fragments of moments she had once taken for granted. Even his gestures of love now seemed like a performance, a show meant to maintain a delicate balance. He held her hand, yet his eyes betrayed longing elsewhere. The warmth she felt was only a surface layer covering the icy reality of divided loyalties. It was in the quiet mornings she began to notice the patterns, the subtle traces of another life threading through theirs. The perfume that was not hers lingered on his clothes, the faint scent a ghost that haunted her sense of security. She found herself staring at the door, wondering when it would open to reveal the truth she feared to confront. He spoke of love, of devotion, yet every word seemed rehearsed, a mask crafted for her eyes only. His apologies and promises carried weight, but a hidden rhythm pulsed beneath, a rhythm that belonged to another. The love she held was mirrored in empty echoes, reverberating in spaces already occupied by someone else. Her nights were restless, plagued by shadows of imagined confrontations and whispered confessions. Each day, the tension coiled tighter around her chest, squeezing the innocence from her thoughts. She had trusted, she had believed, and now that faith was a fragile thread trembling under the weight of hidden truths. She began noticing the small lies, the half-truths carefully stitched into his sentences. His excuses, once believable, now carried a weight of hesitation that betrayed his secret. Every detail she once overlooked became a beacon pointing to the reality she had feared to face. His phone was always slightly out of reach, and yet sometimes a glimpse revealed conversations that made her stomach twist. Names and emojis she could not recognize flashed across the screen, and a pang of jealousy mingled with betrayal took hold. She clenched her hands, willing herself to look away but unable to stop. The other woman was no longer just a shadow in her imagination. She existed in the spaces he carved carefully between their moments, filling gaps with her presence. His laughter when she was near seemed different, lighter, almost stolen from her. Every time he looked at her, it was with a hidden calculation, an invisible line drawn between love and temptation. She felt the weight of it, a pressure that grew heavier with every day. She realized then that his heart was divided, and that division was carefully hidden behind smiles and whispered words. Type Amen to receive the blessing 333. She retraced memories, moments once sweet now tainted by realization. The dinners, the late-night walks, the secret glances, they all began to form a pattern she could no longer ignore. The warmth in his hands had an edge to it, as if each touch was borrowed from a love not entirely hers. Her friends noticed the change too, their questions lingering in the air like unspoken warnings. She brushed them off, afraid of confirming her fears aloud. The denial gave way to a gnawing certainty, a feeling she could no longer escape. There were nights she woke to find him distant, staring at nothing, lost in thoughts she couldn't reach. His heart was somewhere else, and the silence between them was a chasm filled with someone else's presence. She could feel it, a pull in the air that was unmistakable. Even in intimacy, she sensed another's shadow lingering, a hidden hand touching his soul before hers could. The betrayal was subtle yet pervasive, an invisible thread weaving through the fabric of their love. Every kiss, every embrace carried an unspoken guilt she could not erase. The revelation came slowly, like a storm gathering over the horizon. First, it was in his reactions, small hesitations, and stolen looks. Then came the undeniable proof, messages that spoke louder than words ever could. She held the evidence in trembling hands, her heart shattering with every line she read. The other woman's name was clear, a constant presence in their shared life, yet hidden from view. He had been living a double reality, one built on lies and silent promises. Her mind raced, piecing together moments that now screamed betrayal. The dinners he claimed were work obligations, the sudden errands, the late-night whispers on his phone, all fell into place like a puzzle of deception. Each realization tore at the trust she had built around him. In quiet moments, she remembered the way he had looked at her when he thought no one was watching. The warmth had been real, yet incomplete. His love existed, but only in fragments, shared with her while reserved equally for another. She confronted him in silence, watching his reactions with a clarity sharpened by pain. His eyes darted away, a confession without words escaping before he could speak. He tried to explain, to soften the truth, but the words felt hollow against the evidence in her hands. The betrayal was a living thing between them, breathing in the room, suffocating the love she had held sacred. Every apology he offered seemed rehearsed, failing to reach the heart he once claimed belonged to her alone. She realized love could exist alongside betrayal, yet it was incomplete and poisoned by lies. Days turned into weeks, and she watched him carefully, mapping each secret, noting the moments he strayed in thought and in heart. She discovered subtle patterns, schedules of hidden meetings and whispers. The life they shared was a delicate illusion, slowly unraveling under the weight of truth. Even as he professed love, she saw the other woman's reflection in his gaze. It haunted her, a constant reminder that what she had cherished was now fractured. His devotion had been divided, carefully balanced on a tightrope she had only recently seen. She began observing him more closely, noticing the subtle shifts in his tone and gestures. The other woman's presence was etched into every action he took, even when he thought she couldn't see. Her heart sank with each discovery, yet she could not look away. Late at night, she replayed memories, each one now carrying a hidden meaning. His laughter, once comforting, was a mask hiding moments meant for someone else. She felt betrayed, yet strangely compelled to uncover every secret he had kept. Even his casual touches carried weight, a delicate balance between affection and deceit. The warmth she felt was only part of a larger truth, one she had been blind to for too long. Every day revealed another layer of the double life he led. The truth became impossible to ignore. She could feel it like a presence in the room, haunting her with every glance. The other woman was real, her influence undeniable, and his love for her was only half of what he showed. Type Amen to receive the blessing 666. He tried to maintain normalcy, speaking words of love while hiding the depth of his betrayal. His eyes carried secrets he could not fully mask, yet he hoped she would continue to believe in the illusion. Each smile, each whispered promise was a thread holding together a fragile lie. She discovered hidden messages and unexplainable transactions, small fragments that revealed his divided heart. Each discovery hurt more than the last, cutting through the illusions she had clung to. The pieces formed a picture too painful to ignore. She could feel anger rising, a fire fueled by the knowledge of what she had been denied. His love was not hers alone, and the reality of his divided heart burned within her. Yet amidst the pain, she found clarity, a strength to confront the truth she had once avoided. The betrayal was complete, yet she still recognized the fragments of love that existed. They were real, but insufficient, shared unwillingly, stolen by secrecy. She understood that love could exist alongside deception, but never fully flourish when divided. Her confrontation came quietly, in the stillness of a room heavy with tension. She did not scream, nor demand answers, she let the evidence speak for itself. His reaction revealed guilt, a silent acknowledgement of the life he had hidden. The other woman was not a shadow anymore, she existed fully in their world. Each message, each whispered meeting, each subtle touch left an imprint she could not erase. The life she thought was theirs alone had been shared in secret, carefully balanced like a fragile illusion. Even as he tried to explain, she noticed the cracks in his words. The love he professed was genuine in moments, yet incomplete, tainted by secrecy. She understood then that his heart could not be fully hers as long as another claimed a portion. Her nights became restless, haunted by the other woman's presence and his divided devotion. Sleep offered no solace, only dreams filled with shadows of betrayal and whispered confessions. She began to see him in fragments, never whole, never fully hers. She started reclaiming her own space, creating boundaries he could no longer cross unnoticed. Every day became a test of patience and observation, her intuition sharper than ever. She watched, listened, and waited, gathering clarity from the silence he could not hide behind. Even when he attempted closeness, she felt the divide, the other woman's shadow stretching between them. Her love was still real, but stronger now, tempered by pain and awareness. She realized that to protect her heart, she must confront the reality fully, not just the illusion he offered. The tension became a constant hum, vibrating through her thoughts and every interaction. Each encounter was layered with hidden meanings, silent confessions, and unspoken betrayals. She learned to read between words, to understand the spaces where truth and lies intertwined. In the quiet moments, she felt a strange mix of sorrow and empowerment. He had divided his heart, but she had not yet surrendered hers. Awareness became her shield, clarity her sword, and patience her ally in a game he thought he controlled. She began noticing how he guarded his phone more fiercely, each glance revealing a hint of fear he could no longer hide. His excuses, once simple, now carried an air of rehearsed avoidance. Every action spoke of the other woman's presence, undeniable and insidious. The days grew heavier, weighed down by the knowledge she could not unsee. She tracked patterns, noticed subtle disappearances, and recorded fragments of a life she had once believed was solely theirs. Each small discovery cut like a blade, precise and unrelenting. Even the smallest interactions became tests of her awareness, moments where hidden truths threatened to emerge. He smiled, yet the warmth was missing, a ghost of affection lingering just out of reach. Her heart sank with the certainty that his love was divided, and she was only partially seen. The other woman was no longer just a phantom whispering through his life. She had become a tangible presence, woven into the very fabric of his actions. Every gesture, every secretive message, every unexplained errand spoke of loyalty misplaced. Type Amen to receive the blessing 999. She confronted him silently, letting the weight of her gaze carry questions he could not escape. His eyes flickered, betraying guilt before words could form. He attempted to mask it, but she saw clearly, the other woman's influence permeated every aspect of their shared life. Each confession he offered felt incomplete, like fragments of a story missing the truth. The love he showed her existed, but only partially, a shadow cast by hidden devotion. She realized then that her trust had been carefully manipulated, held only where convenient. Her emotions roiled between anger, sorrow, and a painful clarity she could not ignore. The life she imagined with him was fractured, filled with moments stolen by someone else. Each memory now carried a hidden edge, a reminder of love shared beyond her. Even in the quiet, his divided attention was evident. The other woman's presence lingered like an invisible specter, a reminder that nothing was solely hers. She understood the depth of his deception, and it reshaped her understanding of their relationship. Her nights became a battlefield of thought and emotion. Sleep brought dreams where he was torn between her and the other woman, a reflection of reality she could not escape. The pain was sharp, yet it carried a strange awakening, a recognition of her own strength. She started reclaiming her life, placing boundaries around spaces he could no longer infiltrate unnoticed. Each day became a careful observation, a test of his honesty and her own resilience. The subtle shifts in his behavior became clearer, evidence she no longer ignored. Even as he attempted gestures of love, they felt incomplete, hollowed by betrayal. His heart was no longer fully hers, a fragment claimed by another woman. She realized love could not flourish in halves, and hers deserved wholeness. The tension grew unbearable, yet she remained steadfast, watching and waiting for the truth to fully surface. Each secret, each lie, each hidden meeting revealed itself gradually, building a story of betrayal and divided loyalty. She could no longer pretend, for the shadows were now visible. She began to piece together the full scope of his double life. Every hidden message, every unexplained absence, every secretive smile now formed a complete picture. The love she had cherished existed, but only partially, overshadowed by another presence she could not ignore. Even as he professed devotion, she could see the lines of infidelity etched into his gestures. The other woman's presence had become undeniable, an invisible hand shaping the life she thought was solely theirs. She felt anger rise, tempered by the understanding that clarity was her shield. His attempts at explanations faltered under the weight of evidence. She demanded no words, the truth lay in the actions he could no longer hide. Every glance, every hesitation, every carefully constructed lie revealed the heart he had divided without her consent. Her heart trembled, yet she stood firm, embracing the painful clarity. Love existed, yet it was fractured, shared unwillingly, divided by choice. She recognized that the journey ahead required strength, patience, and unflinching courage. She began noticing how every small lie formed a chain of deception too intricate to ignore. His apologies, gestures, and whispered promises felt rehearsed, each one crafted to hide the truth. The other woman's influence shadowed every aspect of their shared life. Her trust was no longer blind, it had been replaced with cautious observation. She studied his routines, his glances, and the pauses in his speech that betrayed secrets. Every detail revealed a life carefully split between two hearts, only one of which was hers. The love she felt remained, but it had been fractured, chipped away by hidden loyalty. She realized she could no longer ignore the signs, nor could she continue in silent denial. The evidence lay before her, undeniable and relentless. Even in moments of intimacy, she sensed a presence she could not touch, a devotion reserved for another woman. The connection they shared was real, yet incomplete, tainted by secrecy. She understood then that love divided is love diminished. Type Amen to receive the blessing 1212. He tried to reclaim her attention, to draw her back into the illusion he had created. His words were smooth, full of charm, but empty where trust should reside. She felt the weight of his divided heart, a burden she could no longer carry silently. The other woman's shadow lingered in every smile, every touch, and every whispered word. She began documenting the patterns, observing the hidden threads of infidelity woven into their daily lives. Her mind, once clouded by doubt, now saw clearly the depth of betrayal. Even his attempts at intimacy were strained, tainted by the knowledge that his heart wandered elsewhere. The warmth she had once trusted was now a calculated gesture, a performance for her eyes only. She could no longer mistake appearances for truth. Her nights were restless, haunted by memories of love that had been incomplete all along. Sleep offered no refuge, only visions of divided devotion and whispers of another woman. She realized that to survive, she must face the truth fully, without flinching. Type Amen to receive the blessing 1313. Her confrontation was quiet, yet powerful, a moment where silence spoke louder than words. She did not need to demand explanations, the evidence revealed everything he had tried to conceal. His guilt was visible, betraying the other life he had kept secret. Each confession he offered felt like a shard of a broken mirror, reflecting only part of reality. She understood that love could exist alongside betrayal, yet never fully thrive. The life she had envisioned with him had been a fragile illusion, built on secrets. She began reclaiming herself, drawing boundaries that could not be crossed unnoticed. Every day became an exercise in vigilance and self-preservation, a test of strength and clarity. The tension between love and betrayal became a constant hum in her awareness. Even as he attempted gestures of love, she saw the fissures in his devotion. His heart was divided, and her awareness of that truth became her shield. She realized she could not continue in partial love, for hers demanded wholeness. She started piecing together the full story, tracing hidden messages, secret meetings, and subtle changes in his behavior. Every fragment painted a picture of a divided heart, loyal to more than one. The love she had cherished was present but fractured, incomplete in its devotion. Her strength grew as clarity replaced confusion. She recognized the shadows in their relationship, no longer blinded by affection. The betrayal was undeniable, yet her awareness empowered her to face it fully. Even in moments when he tried to draw her back into intimacy, she noticed the absence of complete commitment. The other woman's presence lingered, invisible yet potent. She understood that his love could not be fully hers as long as another claimed a portion of his heart. Her nights became contemplative, filled with reflection, sorrow, and awakening. She realized she could honor her own love only by demanding truth and clarity. No longer could she allow her heart to be shared unknowingly or unfairly. She realized the betrayal was not just about him, but about the life they had shared. Every memory now carried a dual meaning, a love intertwined with deception. The truth was heavy, yet it offered clarity she had long sought. His gestures of love were no longer enough to mask the divided devotion. She noticed the subtle differences in his tone, the hesitation in his smile. Each moment with him was now a test of perception, revealing what was hidden beneath the surface. The other woman's presence had become undeniable, an invisible hand shaping the course of their relationship. Every detail, every pattern, every secretive act painted a picture she could no longer ignore. She felt both heartbreak and resolve rising within her. Even as he tried to explain, she saw the cracks in his words. His devotion was incomplete, shared between her and another. She understood that love cannot thrive in halves, and hers deserved wholeness. She began reclaiming her emotional space, no longer willing to let her heart be divided. Each day became a careful observation, a test of his honesty and her own resilience. The tension in every interaction heightened, revealing truths he could no longer hide. Even when he attempted gestures of intimacy, she felt the emptiness left by betrayal. His love existed, yet it was fractured, tainted by secrecy. She realized she had to confront the reality fully, not just the illusion he offered. Her nights were restless, filled with dreams where he was torn between two lives. The other woman's shadow haunted her, yet in that haunting, she discovered clarity. The truth, painful as it was, offered the strength to act. She began to confront her emotions directly, balancing love and heartbreak. Awareness became her shield, clarity her weapon. She understood that she could no longer remain in a love shared unwillingly. Type Amen to receive the blessing 1616. The confrontation became inevitable, a moment where silence spoke louder than accusations. She did not need to ask questions, his actions had revealed the reality. The other woman was no longer a phantom but a tangible presence in their lives. His guilt was visible, betraying the hidden devotion he had reserved for someone else. Every word he offered fell short, incapable of mending the fracture he created. She realized that love divided could never be whole, no matter how sincere he seemed. She reclaimed herself in small, deliberate ways, protecting her heart from further injury. Her observation sharpened, her intuition guided her through the deception. The life she envisioned was now being rewritten, her love reclaimed for herself first. Even in fleeting moments, she saw the lines of divided loyalty etched into his actions. The other woman's shadow persisted, but her clarity shielded her from confusion. She understood that empowerment came from truth, no matter how painful. Type Amen to receive the blessing 1717. Her reflection on their past revealed how carefully the deception had been hidden. Every memory carried fragments of hidden truth, making her understanding both painful and precise. The love she felt remained, yet she knew it could not thrive under secrecy. Even as he sought forgiveness, she recognized the limitations of his devotion. The other woman had claimed part of his heart, and no words could change that. Her strength came from acknowledging the truth, not denying it. She began to navigate life with renewed clarity, balancing heartache with empowerment. Each action became deliberate, each choice guided by awareness. She refused to allow her love to be shared unknowingly, reclaiming her emotional sovereignty. The weight of betrayal was heavy, yet she found liberation in understanding. The fractured love existed, but she no longer allowed it to dictate her worth. Awareness, clarity, and strength became her guiding principles. She realized the final confrontation was not with him, but with the truth itself. The reality of his divided heart had to be faced fully, without compromise. Her courage strengthened as she prepared to step into that clarity. Even as he tried to explain, she noticed the invisible boundaries she had created. His love existed, but only partially, shared unwillingly. She understood that complete devotion could not be demanded, only recognized and received. The other woman's presence had shaped their past, yet she refused to let it dictate her future. Each observation, each reflection, each realization added strength to her resolve. She embraced the pain, turning it into clarity and empowerment. Her nights, once restless, became moments of meditation on truth and self-respect. The shadow of betrayal lingered, but it no longer controlled her emotions. Awareness became a shield, guiding her through the final steps of confrontation. Type Amen to receive the blessing 1818. She confronted him finally, not with anger but with unwavering truth. The evidence was undeniable, the divide clear. Her heart, though wounded, was empowered by awareness and clarity. He struggled to find words, his rehearsed apologies failing against the weight of her understanding. She did not need explanations, the truth had already revealed itself. The love she had held was real, but now it existed alongside betrayal, no longer naive to its incompleteness. Even his gestures of affection carried shadows of another woman's influence. She felt the hollow echo of divided devotion, recognizing that wholeness could no longer exist with him. The clarity brought sorrow, yet it also brought freedom. Her strength had become unshakable, grounded in awareness and the refusal to allow her heart to be divided. Each choice she made now was deliberate, guided by understanding. She reclaimed herself fully, no longer tethered to an incomplete love. Type Amen to receive the blessing 1919. The days that followed were filled with deliberate steps toward independence. She observed, reflected, and learned, never ignoring the signs of deception again. Her love for him had been genuine, yet she recognized it could not survive in halves. Even when he attempted closeness, she maintained her boundaries, aware of the truth she now carried. The other woman's shadow was no longer a threat but a reminder of the lessons she had learned. Her heart, though tested, had grown resilient and wise. She realized that love, when divided, is no longer love in its pure form. Awareness had become her guide, clarity her shield, and courage her companion. The betrayal had been painful, yet it gave her a profound understanding of her own worth. Her nights, once haunted by secrets and whispers, became serene with knowledge. The invisible chains of divided devotion had been broken by her clarity. She was free to love fully, knowing the truth could no longer be hidden from her. Type Amen to receive the blessing 2020. Archangel Michael says, "You have faced the shadows and embraced the truth. Your heart has been tempered in fire and emerged unbroken. Walk forward with courage, for your love now belongs wholly to you." She felt a weight lift, the shadow of betrayal finally dissipating. The lessons of divided devotion, hidden secrets, and fragmented love became the foundation of her strength. Each step forward was deliberate, filled with awareness, resilience, and newfound freedom. Even as memories lingered, they no longer controlled her choices. Her heart had been tested, but clarity and courage now guided every action. She understood that love deserved wholeness, and she would never settle for anything less. Her journey through betrayal became a testament to the strength of awareness. She had faced the truth, embraced the pain, and reclaimed her heart. In the end, she was no longer the woman who had unknowingly shared her love, she was whole, empowered, and free. Type Amen to receive the blessing 2121.